Hey guys, I'm back and today I'm going to be doing my makeup that I used up in 2023 video. I have a lot of respect for the people who physically keep all of their empties and do a big video where they dump everything out at the end of the year. I just don't have the space to do that. There's nowhere where I could put an entire year's worth of empties, especially beauty and skincare empties too, or hair care, body care, skincare empties, because makeup could be manageable. I just want to throw things away. I want to recycle them. And so, but I do keep track of what I do use up throughout the year. And I was going to do a regular empties video because I haven't done one in a while. And I realized that I never talked about all the makeup that I used up in 2023, which is something that I tend to do every year. So it's a little late. I may have completely passed the train and no one cares, but I thought that it would be interesting to see what I used up and then compare it to 2022 because that was when I really started keeping track of everything. So without further ado, let's hop straight into this video. Starting off with primer, in 2023, I used up 4 primers, which is the same amount that I used up in 22. So that makes sense. It was a Smashbox Mini, the Laura Mercier Pure Canvas, First Aid Beauty Mini, and then the Ole Hendrickson Banana Bright. So 2 full size, 2 minis, 4 total products rolled out, and that seems doable. I don't know if I could use up 3 full size, full at the beginning of the year products, but 1 full size primer, maybe another full size primer that has some good progress on it, and then a couple of minis is reasonable. Then I used up 1 foundation in 2023, which was my MAC Face and Body. This is less. I used up 2 in 2022. I just think that they were less full, or one of them was a mini in 2022 as well. So that makes sense why I used up more in 22 because there was less product, and that MAC foundation was large. So that took me a full year to use up, I think. Or maybe a little less than a year, but it took me a good while just because I bought it in summer of 2022 and I didn't finish it up until 2023. Then for concealers, I used up 3. 1 from e.l.f. It was either the hydrating or the regular camo concealer, a NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, and my Ilia True Serum Skin Concealer. And that is the same number that I used up in 2022. Again, that sounds about right. 3 concealers per year is pretty standard. I used up 0 loose powders, 0 pressed powders, no bronzers, blushes, or highlighters. Now you may be wondering, but Jasmine, didn't you finish up that blush from your Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit, which was my Pan That Face palette? I'll link that playlist down below because that was really fun to do. And yes, I did, but I have my own face palette category. I have considered going back and considering those individual items, and then I would have to go back and change 2022 uses as well, or products that I used up as well. But I think I'm just gonna leave it for now as a face palette because technically there's 2 blushes in there, but I use one of the blushes as a highlighter. So then do I consider it a highlighter or do I consider it a blush? It just gets very complicated. One of the face powders in there was too dark for me, so then I used it as a bronzer. Is that a face powder or a bronzer? And so I'm just going to leave it as a face palette for now. I don't really have many face palettes with multiple products of different kinds, so I'm just going to let that one go. So I didn't use up any cheek products aside from my Pan That Face palette, which I did not use up in its entirety, spoiler, so I have 0 tallies on my makeup empties tracker. Then for setting spray, I used up 2. One was a smaller version of the Mario Badescu facial spray. I think it was the one that had lavender in it. Not my favorite. I think those ones are just a little too perfumey for me. And then I used up the Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist. I did like that one. I used to use setting spray all the time, and now I kind of view it as a makeup product that use as needed, not necessarily use every single day. I don't necessarily have a staple spot in my routine for it, but when I'm trying to refresh my makeup, or I'm going out with friends and I really want to lock everything in, it is nice to have one on hand, but I don't foresee me using up 2 or 3 every year and using them daily. For 2023, I used up 0 brow products, so gel, pomade, or pencil. I'm hoping to change that in 2024. I would like to use up either the Hourglass brow pencil that I have or the Creme Shop brow pomade. I've had them both for quite a while, and it would be nice to use them up and then get something new. Then for mascara, I used up 2, and they were both Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascaras. This might not be correct. I feel like I would go through more mascaras in a year. I usually replace them once every like 4, maybe 5 months. But I do remember those Tarte ones lasting me a long time. So if I went back and watched my empties videos from 2023, maybe there would be 3. And compared to 2022, where I used up 6 mascaras, that definitely seems low, but it kind of depends on timing. Did I open the second Tarte one right at the end of 2022, and then, or the first Tarte one, it lasted me like 5 or 6 months, opened another Tarte one, and then I opened a mascara right before the beginning of 2024. That kind of makes sense. So we'll see. I don't care enough to go back and check. Oh, for setting sprays, I used up 2 setting sprays in 2022, and the only brow product that I have used up in 2022 was a brow gel. So kind of similar. I think those products take a longer time to use, so when I do use them up, I'm not going to be using one up the following year. Then for eyeliner, I used up 1, and that was Lancome Black Coffee like kohl eye pencil, and that one took me forever for how tiny it was. Those eye pencils really are a good bang for your buck if you want something that is going to last longer than your life. It took forever, but it was also really good, like really easy to use, didn't like bleed or smear. So good one. I am not going to run out and buy it again because I have enough eyeliners, and clearly it takes me a long time to use them. In 2022, I used up 2 eyeliners, so 1 less. I'm hoping to use up a couple this year, but I also have some that I'm going to be a little more strategic about using up the ones that are older and getting through some of my liquid liners. So I don't have separate liquid and pencil liner categories, so it's all just liner, and I'm hoping to use a couple more in 2024. Then for eyeshadows, I used up 0. Same for liquid shadows and shadow sticks, and I used up 0 of each of these 3 categories in 2022. This is a category that I would like to use something up in. I have a couple of things that I want to pan in 2024 that are cream shadow sticks, at least, that I would like to get through because they go bad. I mean, eyeshadows obviously go bad as well, but cream and liquid products definitely go bad faster. For 2023, I used up 2 eye primers, my Lorac Behind the Scenes eye primer and my Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer mini. That's one where I worked on the Anastasia Beverly Hills one all of 2022 and then finally used it up in 2023. I don't go through eye primers that quickly, and frankly, I haven't repurchased one because I do not think that they're worth the extra step. Sometimes I feel like they make my makeup look worse, so I haven't repurchased one, and it'll probably be a 0 for 2024. And in years past, I've used up like 1 a year, so it makes sense. I didn't go crazy with the eye primer. I just finally got sick of having them floating around in my collection and dedicated myself to using them up. Now we get into lippies. I used up 2 lip liners. They were actually both like lip crayons. I just categorize these kind of products as a lip liner because I usually will sharpen them. They're a little bit thinner than a bullet lipstick, and I can use them as a lip liner. And it was a Bite crayon mini in the shade Glacé. No longer a brand, I believe, but I do really love that lip crayon. I had two minis and I used them both up because it's a really beautiful color on me. And then my nude sticks, I think it was the shade Purity that I used up last year. And that is another color that I think looked really nice, but I mostly used it as a blush rather than a lipstick. Then for glosses, I used up two glosses. Both were Buxom minis. I have Hot Toddy and Moscow Mule. Hot Toddy had like the teeniest time. It had like 5 more uses left in it at the beginning of 2023. So that should have gone to 2022. I used up 0 lip liners or lip crayons in 2022 and 1 lip gloss. If I used it like 5 more times in 2022, it would have been finished up in that year. It was right on the cusp, but technically I finished it in January of 2023. And then I also used up another Buxom mini. Then for lipsticks, like bullet lipsticks, I used up 0 this past year and 2 in 2022. I was just into glosses more and I was using up those lip pencils, so I didn't get through any. Now I'm wondering which lipsticks I used up in 2022. Now I'm curious. They were probably minis, but still good to use up. And yeah, I didn't use up any bullet lipsticks. I don't anticipate using up any lipsticks in 2024 because I'm doing my lip roulette series and I'm rotating through them, but I do anticipate my lip product collection getting smaller because I'm doing it to declutter and condense rather than pan. And then 0 liquid lipsticks in 2022 and 2023. For tinted lip balms, I used up 2 last year. One was from Revlon and it was this peachy color, and one is Clinique Black Honey. In 2022, I used up 0 tinted balms, but the 2 years prior to that, I used up 2 each. So when I've been focused on using up tinted balms in my collection, then I can do 2 a year, but they're not something that I choose to reach for. I don't really like tinted balms for a lip product. If I want to wear a lip balm, I'll just wear a lip balm, and if I want to wear a lipstick or a lip color, I just don't like the look. I think they look weird, or I just don't like the look of them when I'm wearing a full face of makeup and have like a tinted balm. Maybe if I was more of like a natural no makeup girly, which clearly I am not today, I would like them. I don't really get it. I would rather wear a gloss if I want something sheer and glossy on the lips. And then nail polish is the last category that I track. I used up 0 in 2023. I used up 1 in 2022. I have stopped actively trying to use up nail polish because it's how some people feel about panning eyeshadows or panning lip products. It takes something that you love and makes you kind of start to hate the color when you're forcing yourself to use it all the time. That happens to me with nail polish. I like switching it up, or I like just feeling like I can wear whatever I want. I have a reasonable nail polish collection, and I don't buy them often. I'm not gifted them often, so there's no reason for me to start hating the products in my collection. So that is everything that I have for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found this interesting. Now that I've been doing this I've been tracking this for 4 years now, I kind of have a better expectation of what's reasonable to use up in a year. It takes me like a full year, oftentimes more, to use up a bronzer. It takes me multiple years to use up a blush. I can usually use up a couple mini lip products in a year, but if I wanted to use up a full-size bullet lipstick, it would take me, I think 18 months it took me to use up a full-size bullet lipstick from Lacquer & Co. That bright I think it was called Sunflower, something like that. That bright, beautiful fuchsia that was in my 21 by my 21st birthday project pan. It took me like a full year and a half. So going forward, doing this has definitely helped me manage my expectations for products that I want to use up in the upcoming year videos. I'm still a little bit over ambitious in those, but now that I've been doing this and I look at it, I can say, yeah, I used up 2 tinted balms. That makes sense. I can reasonably use up 2. If I wanted to use up 4 in a year, that'd be kind of unrealistic. So I heavily encourage this exercise of keeping track of what you can actually use up. I don't count things that expire and I throw out or products that I give away. I track those kinds of things through my inventory, but this is purely empties. So that is everything that I have. Please let me know what you think of this video. Was it worth the doing in March? And most of all, I hope you're having an incredible, awesome day wherever you are and that I get to see you in a future video. Thanks, guys.